Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for March 9th, 2023 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. The weather today was pretty similar to yesterday. Here's a photo from the morning. It started out overcast except for a tiny sliver of blue on the horizon, and then as we got later in the day and into the afternoon, the sky was clearing, and by the end of the count, the sky was pretty much completely blue. Winds were light to moderate out of the northwest to north. Not too long after I arrived this morning, I had a flock of 6 sandhill cranes flying around. Here we have a juvenile bald eagle, so one born last year. You can see that even trailing edge to the wing because all of the feathers are the same age. And you also see these pale inner primary feathers. It's another field mark to use for juveniles. Here we have a horned lark that flew over, and we had a couple horned larks today, not very many. The adult male dark morph rough-legged hawk continued today. Here are some common mergansers. You can see the males with the green heads and the females with the red heads. Here we have an adult Cooper's hawk, and this is a nice silhouette view of it. You can see the long tail and relatively large head and holding its wings out straight. So overall, kind of a flying cross. And I believe this is the same bird that we saw yesterday that was more distant, but remember from that video I pointed out the tail bands were a little unusual because of how wide the lighter portions are compared to the skinny dark portions. Normally they'd be a little closer in size to one another, so this individual stands out a little bit just because of that variation. And we know it's an adult because it has this orange horizontal barring on the underside. Here we have an adult red-tailed hawk, so we know it's a red tail because of the dark patagial bars and the belly band. We know it's an adult because of the dark trailing edge to the wing, and if we had a better look at the tail, we'd see that it's red, or from underneath maybe kind of orangish or pinkish. And the other thing that stands out about this bird is that it's fairly heavily marked. You can see it's a relatively big belly band, and that's often a sign that this might be a bird that was born farther north. There is a more heavily marked subspecies that we see called the northern or Abieticola subspecies, compared to the standard eastern or borealis subspecies. Now, those heavily marked Abieticola often have a darker head and a darker throat, so I'm not 100% sure if this bird is one, but it's definitely more heavily marked than the other red tails I've been seeing from the Hawk Watch, and this one did appear to be migrating. Here we have an immature bald eagle, and it's a somewhat distant photo, so maybe this would give us a chance to investigate the silhouette. One thing to notice about bald eagles is they have a relatively large head compared to golden eagles, which would have a much smaller head. And also on the bald eagle, we see it has a lot of white in this wing pit area. If you see a lot of white in this area, that's a sign of a bald eagle rather than a golden eagle. Here's part of a flock of snow geese that made a relatively low pass over the Hawk Watch. Here's a bald eagle that's almost a full adult. Here we have a migrating turkey vulture, and we had a few dozen turkey vultures. So overall, we had a pretty decent total for the day compared to other days, just from that slow trickle of turkey vultures that came in small groups throughout the day. This is a common raven that was up soaring with a bald eagle, and you can notice how large the bill is on ravens. And here's a look at an adult bald eagle, and you can see as we've gone through the photos, they've gone from having clouds in the background or just a white background from that overcast sky to becoming a blue background from the sunny sky of the afternoon. And at the end of the day, I ran over to Irondequoit Bay in the area of Sandbar Park, where Nate Eukins found this nice tufted duck earlier today. And this is actually a life bird for me, so only a 20-minute drive. I figured I better run over and see it today in case it doesn't stick around. If we take a look at the eBird list, today I had 45 species, and as always I'll put a link to it down below in the description. For the HawkCount report, for migrant raptors today we had 35 turkey vultures, 5 bald eagles, 1 northern harrier, 1 red-tailed hawk, for a total of 42 migrants today, so pretty decent number compared to what we've gotten so far this season. There were no new species for the season today. And looking at the forecast, tomorrow's looking windy with snow later in the day. Winds east-northeast at 20 to 30 miles per hour, so that's an unfavorable wind direction and very strong, so wouldn't expect to really see any migration. Chance of snow is 100%, looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow. during the day, starting in the afternoon, and I think even more than overnight into Saturday. Saturday is looking cloudy with a chance of snow showers, temperatures in the mid-30s, and winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour, so unfavorable wind direction and fairly strong. Would expect only light migration, but at least it won't be snowing, so might be an okay day to be out, although a little bit chilly. And for Sunday, we're looking at overcast with a high of 36 and light easterly winds, so that might be an alright day. It's not a favorable wind direction, but they're fairly light. Wouldn't be surprised to see some raptors, and those light winds can sometimes make it easier to hear songbirds and just have more overall songbird activity. Well, at least we had a bit of sunshine the past 2 days. Looks like the next few days might be cloudy, and with the snow coming tomorrow, looks like we'll have a few days that not much happening migration-wise. Looking ahead in the forecast, still not really seeing any southerly winds, so we'll have to just take it day by day, and soon enough, I'm sure we'll have a good day. Might just take another week or two. From Lyco Birds, this is David Brown. Thanks for watching.